In case you missed it, here's Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.
Have you ever bungee jumped?
No, and I don't think I ever will. Zip lining? I'll do zip lining, but not bungee jumping.
Just something about bungee jumping just scares me. And the first person to ever bungee jump just recently passed away. His name was David Kirk, and despite being a lifelong risk taker, he died peacefully in his bed at the age of 78.
So how did he become the first bungee jumper? Well, back in the 70s, he and his friends started a group at Oxford College called the Dangerous Sports Club. And they did the very first bungee jump 44 years ago on April Fool's Day, 1979. And he says he was hungover when he did it.
I climbed over the balcony there, or the rails, clutching a top hat with a handkerchief around my face because I didn't want my mother to recognize me. We worked out that bridge is 240 feet tall. We would need 2 ropes at 120 feet. And then you would fall down and you would surface just above the water.
So they were all supposed to jump at the same time, but he found out later the others waited to see if he made it because they hadn't tested the ropes. And they were like, David did it. Seems okay.
Okay, now we'll go.
I love this part, too. The cops heard they were planning to do this at about 8 a.m. and showed up to stop them. But David and his friends were running late because they were hungover from the night before. So the cops were already gone by the time they ended up getting there. Now, they did swing back around after they got reports of this happening, and they ended up getting arrested, but just had to pay a fine.
Now, they've done some other crazy stuff, too, with their Dangerous Sports Club. David also crossed the English Channel attached to helium balloons. But, of course, the first bungee jump was his biggest legacy.
He also jumped out of a hot air balloon, bungee jumping, too. Just something I never really aspired to.
No thanks.
Do they still have bungee jumping at Canada's Wonderland? Because they used to. And
didn't they used to have that one where it was like you would swing?
Mm-hmm, something like that. And they used to tape it so you could see yourself going off of it, right? So, they had the video camera set up. My brother did it. One of my brothers did it, but he didn't follow the instructions. He walked off the platform. You're supposed to dive off the platform. So he walked off, and gravity took him down and snapped him around. And you could hear the guy in the videotape go, "Oh my God, he did it wrong." I mean, he's lucky it didn't break his back or something worse, because you're supposed to dive forward, as is my understanding of it. I would not want to do that. Because then you kind of
swing down and go.
No, he walked off, and you could see him plummeting down, and then the bungee cord kind of snaps around, and he snaps with it, bounce back up. Thankfully, he was okay. So maybe that's why. Partly, I don't want to bungee jump. I saw that video. I was like, not for me. I'll keep my feet, terra firma.
Maybe he's the reason why they don't have bungee jumping anymore, and they have that giant swing instead.
This is a wild one. A woman in Georgia by the name of Susan says that while she was away on vacation, a company called You Call It, We Haul It demolished a house that she owned, and she only heard about it when a neighbor called.
So apparently the neighbor confronted the workers, and they supposedly got kind of nasty with her. So she sent a family member over, or Susan, the one who owns this property, she sent a family member over to go and ask them to check their permit. The owner of the company apparently looked at it and was like, "Oh, I'm at the wrong house," and just up and left.
Did you hire somebody to tear your house down next door to me that's been boarded up for about 15 years? And I said, no. She said, well, there's somebody over here just demolished the whole house and tore the whole house down. He told her to shut up and mind her own business. Said, well, look, I want to see a permit or something. And he said, okay. He pulls it out and he says, oh, I'm at the wrong address. And just packs everything up and leaves. And the house is deported, down, gone.
Wow. So Susan said it was a property that's been in the family for quite a long time, but it has been boarded up for the past 15 years. However, the family keeps the grounds maintained, the taxes are paid, so it wasn't really abandoned, and they certainly didn't want it torn down. Because, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's, some back and forth with the family to figure out what do you want to do with this property? How are we dividing the money? That kind of thing.
Yeah, do we sell it? Maybe someone in the family was like, well, once I get enough money, I'm going to fix it up and get it back to where we would like it to be. Well, the company that tore down the house told the local news that they're now investigating how this could have happened, and they're working to resolve the mishap. But family says they still haven't heard from this company. So they're like, I don't know how you're going to make it right because you haven't even reached out to us yet.
And they didn't even haul the mess away that they made. And their company's called You Call It, We Haul It. And they didn't even do the hauling parts. They did everything wrong. I mean, this is in Georgia. I think I can smell a lawsuit. Today is food day, and that is, got us thinking about saving money because, man, you go to the grocery store. We all know this. You're not getting what you used to even a few years ago, right? $70 doesn't go very far anymore.
No, you don't get as many groceries, and even if the prices stayed the same, maybe it's shrinkflation, the contents, the quality has gotten smaller, and the quality's not as good as it used to be.
So what are some ways you can save some money? Little things that just add up. Someone asked this online, and here's a few suggestions from people that responded to it.
First off, when you get up in the morning, put socks and a sweater on before you turn up the heat, because then you might realize, oh no, I'm fine. I don't need to turn it up. That'll save you a couple bucks on your heating bill.
So if you bought stuff, especially during the pandemic where you were subscribing to various companies because you were getting things delivered to your house, you might be getting those tempting emails in now, right? That say 50% off if you're looking for shoes, 50% off of this. Either delete them right away or unsubscribe so you're not tempted then.
Another one for impulse buys. If you see something that you want on, say, Amazon, put it on your wish list and wait 48 hours. If after 48 hours you're still thinking, yeah, no, I really need that or I want that, then sure, go back and buy it. They say most of the time you forget you even put it on your wish list and you forget about it.
I know people that do this all the time and they do make some money. Make it a habit to sell stuff you don't use. Maybe once a month on like Facebook Marketplace. Not really a saving hack per se, but maybe a way to bring in some money for something that you might be getting rid of or not using.
And a great way to, while you're also decluttering, right? Have you go through all your stuff. Another money-saving habit that can add up, not for everyone, but stop eating meat with every meal. Meat tends to be the most expensive part of a meal. And they're saying you don't have to go full vegetarian or vegan, but even just one vegetarian meal a week can add up.
Always carry a reusable water bottle with you versus going out and buying cases of water.
It's so much more acceptable now. So everyone always seems to have a reusable water bottle with them.
And there's so many more of those water fill stations. Like I know they've got one, in, I think at the Y, at other gyms I've gone to, where you just, and then it adds up. There's like a little counter that shows you how many water bottles have been filled.
Those are fantastic. Another thing you can try to save money is piggybacking. So this is where, say you run out of something, you don't run out to get it immediately. You wait until you have a couple of errands to run. So you're going somewhere and then you can stop on your way home.
And then with that in mind, when it comes to driving, and this is one we've talked about many times and we've all been told this, don't speed.
Yeah, go the speed limit. Gas isn't cheap and you burn more of it when you drive fast. And I saw someone actually post about this. They said they now leave like 10 to 15 minutes earlier than even normal. And they say as a result, they're not as stressed out. It's much more a relaxed drive. They can drive the speed limit. And not only are you going to save on gas, you're going to save your brakes because you're not accelerating and then slamming down on your brakes to get everywhere maybe a minute or two quicker.
You're going to make the person behind you push on their brakes because they're tailgating you in a school zone where it's supposed to be 40 and you're doing 42 and they're right on top of you. And then suddenly now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go 35. Oh, wait, is that just me? A welding company in Colorado called JMF recently got sued by another company. They claim JMF didn't pay them for a job and eventually settled for $23,500.
But they're now back in court because JMF tried to pay the company by sending them 6 tons of loose change. Apparently, a flatbed truck showed up at the lawyer's office with a box full of quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies all mixed together.
At first I thought, you've got to be kidding me. And then we had to go through the logistics. Again, it's showing you pennies, quarters, dimes. In our pleadings, we called it the figurative middle finger. Just to acquire that many took effort. But then to open them all up and dump them into a container, that is not just trying to pay a bill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work because they would have had to get all of those royal coins and then have what? Your workers or maybe your friends and family unroll them all?
And dump them loose into a box.
And then drive them over there.
Yeah. So the settlement agreement didn't specify how they had to pay. So they thought the lawyer would have to accept it. But she refused and has now filed another lawsuit against them. And it looks like that company is going to have to pay even more now, and not in loose change.
So JMF claims they were not being malicious or trying to waste anyone's time.
Sure.
Who's going to roll all those coins afterwards, right? But if the judge disagrees, they'll have to pay an additional $7,000 in attorney fees. I know you didn't want to have to pay this money. You just write a check. You thought you were being funny, and look what happened. So what would you think is the best hiding place for contraband? Would it be Frosted Flakes, a pizza box, or a tree stump?
How about none of the above? Because based on the 3 stories we have for you, those are all terrible spots. Guy down in Texas was recently pulled over, and when police searched the vehicle, they found 2 kilograms of cocaine hidden in a box of Frosted Flakes. He also had $10,000 in cash stashed inside of a headphone box.
You know what? He probably thought he was being funny, right? I was taking cocaine in a box of Frosted Flakes. They really are Frosted Flakes.
They're great.
Not so great for him.
No.
All right, how about this one? A police officer in the UK saw 2 males acting suspiciously in a park when it looked like they were hiding something in a tree stump. They ran off, but the cop dug into the tree stump and found 121 mini packages of cocaine.
That's a lot.
Apparently they didn't have a box of Frosted Flakes, so that was part of their issue. Cops still trying to find the, quote, rightful owners.
So I wonder if that was supposed to be like the drop spot, and they were putting in, people were supposed to go and pick up their baggies there?
Or the person selling it was supposed to get it there, and that was supposed to be their meetup area. Didn't work out so well. They needed that box of Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. And finally, police in California pulled over a car after they saw it driving around without headlights. Okay, criminals, if you're doing something illegal, don't do other dumb things that are illegal.
So often that seems to happen, right? A taillight out or something like
Not
that.
signaling correctly. So officers searched the car and found it was full of drugs, including meth, coke, Xanax, and fentanyl, plus a loaded gun, which was all hidden in a pizza box. And they didn't even take the pizza out. They just put it on top of a full uneaten pizza.
Were they going to eat the pizza later? After they did all their criminal things?
They were just too busy. They were in too much of a hurry. They couldn't even take the pizza out.
What do you think about this? Fun or inappropriate? So every year, people debate whether or not certain costumes are too sexy or a little over the top. Well, some residents of a neighborhood in Utah were upset about a Halloween decoration that shows a skeleton pole dancing on a street sign.
And this was in a neighborhood in Utah. And some of the residents were upset because this decoration showed the pole dancing skeleton on a street sign. And then there's 2 other skeletons in chairs nearby holding up fake dollar bills. Neighbors complained, and the city told him he needed to take it down because it's apparently a code violation to have anything hanging off of a street sign.
I think it brings a lot of good humor that we need to a small town.
We're going to go tip them when we leave. We know what it's like to work for tips.
I know.
Maybe a little risque for some people, but it's just, all in the name of fun. Your kids understand what that is. Maybe the problem's not the skeleton dancing on the pole. Maybe it's something else.
So I would say that it kind of backfired on these people that complained, though, because Christopher complied, but he just moved the display onto his own property, made it bigger, added lights, music, and even more skeletons.
Neighbors who like the display have even dropped off their own decorations to add to it. That being said, others still don't like it. One neighbor complained, saying, quote, "I guess teaching our children respect, decency, and manners has just gone by the wayside."
What about teaching your children humor?
How about that? In a world where everything seems to have turned upside down. You know what it makes me think of? If you watch any of those old British movies, have you no decency? Nope, none at all. You can check it out right on my front lawn. Guys, do you have a yellow pillow? And I'm going to say guys because it's probably mostly guys that has this. So this is when you take off your pillowcase, the actual pillow is stained with shades of yellow.
So apparently there's an ongoing debate right now about yellow pillows on social media. The responses run across the board. Some people are like, nah, yellow pillows are gross. But some people apparently find them endearing. It all started when this one guy wrote, "My girlfriend's mad at me because I revealed to her the yellow pillow. Fellows, I'm sure you all know that thing is magic." And another guy said, "I just recently got rid of my yellow pillow and I haven't rested comfortably since."
Another guy said, "Part of being a man is using the same pillow since the age of 10 and never washing it." I'll be honest, I never think about washing my pillows. I just get new pillows.
Well, a yellowing pillow is, like, the reason why it gets yellow in the first place It's a buildup of moisture from sweat, oil, lotions, drool. Even going to bed with wet hair can cause the pillow to become discolored. And it might seem gross, but it's not going to kill you. However, experts say that it can trigger allergies, especially if mildew or fungus is allowed to grow and fester in the pillow.
And they can also develop, an odor from all of that kind of stuff too. You can slow the yellowing by keeping your pillowcases fresh and clean. Yes, guys, you can have more than one set of pillowcases.
You should be washing them at least every week. At least.
Your pillowcases.
Your pillowcase.
I never think about washing the pillows. I seem to remember doing that one time, and they came out all weird, and they just were kind of misshapen.
Well, it's tough because you need to know what kind of filling it is. And if you haven't ripped that label off, check that, and it'll tell you a lot of times washing instructions. Because if you have a down pillow versus down alternative or a foam, depends on how you should do it. And you got to make sure it's balanced in the washing machine. Otherwise you get that thump, 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 thump thing going on. And then I've also heard too, you need to use dryer balls or tennis balls when you put them in the dryer to get them to fluff back up again. But I remember I washed some pillows, I think it was in the summer, and they came out, and even though I put the dryer balls in there, the pillows came out lumpy again. I was like, oh.
And they get flat like a pancake, it seems like. It's tough to get a good pillow to stay the way it should stay.
So I have a down pillow. That's sort of my main pillow. But then I have, it's not quite high enough. I need another pillow under it. And I bought some new ones. And literally within 2 weeks, they were flat as a pancake again. And I was like, what? Why did I even bother buying new pillows then?
We're cleaning up the spare room in the closet and realized that, over the last several years when we've bought new pillows, we've just taken the old ones and stuffed them in there.
Yeah, that's the other thing. What do you do with the old pillows?
Well,
so you stuffed them in a closet in your case.
Not anymore, because we went through and I was like, no, this one's yellow. That looks gross. This one's flat as a pancake. No. So we got rid of about half a dozen pillows. And these are over and above pillows.
Put them in the garbage then, or?
Well, that's what we did. I don't know if that's.
I feel like it's such a bad for the environment.
You remove the tags? Do you remove the tags from pillows?
Yeah.
Why not?
You're allowed to.
By penalty of law.
After you purchase them, you can remove them. Don't rip them off in the store. Then they'll come after you.
Tell me there's not a little bit of paranoia, though, the first time you rip that tag off. You're like, am I supposed to do this?
Put your hands up in the air. 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 And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. Wave your hands in the air like you don't care.
All right, were you waving your hands in the air just now? Then that might mean you're old.
Apparently dancing with both hands in the air is a sign you are old now, at least according to Gen Z. A guy by the name of Gus, he looks like he's in his 30s, posted a video after going out to a club with one of his younger friends.
I was dancing at the club last night with this girl, and she was like, it's giving away your age. She was like, you keep putting your hands up. But I would do it too. I'd be like, woo! And she was like, stop putting your hands up. And I was like, my mom does that. I'm too old to be in this club.
Apparently, too, if you clap first, that's another sign. If you have your palms face up like you're about to raise the roof, you're definitely old. And as you heard him say that she pointed out, well, my mom dances like that. Yeah, because you've got a cool mom.
Mm-hmm. Your mom knows what's up. And you know what's up? Your hands. Because no one ever wrote a song about putting your hands down.
How do you dance then? Are you like a Peanuts character, like from Charlie Brown? You're just sort of shuffling?
They're straight up river dancing out there.
You're just like clog dancing? Like, what is happening here?
What are you doing with your hands?
How do you not? Do you put them in your pocket?
They have to stay below your shoulders? Is there like a level?
Now I'm just awkward like a T-Rex. Like, what do I do with my hands?
They're out there just doing TikTok dances online.
I guess, but don't you move your hands when you do TikTok dances? I don't know.
Or does everything stay below your head, below your shoulders?
Or is it just the next generation's desire to be so different than the one before that they have to, make up these silly rules?
If someone tells me to raise the roof, I am going to raise the roof.
It's time to raise the roof.
You've been listening to Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.